welcome, 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 welcome. Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. Good evening. I am so excited to welcome you all to our second season. I'm sorry. Welcome to our second season of ForUnity TV. Woo! I want to start off by thanking you all for all the love and support for the last season. We truly appreciate all the messages, feedback. Yes. We have so much in store for you for season 2. So make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube so you can keep up with all the latest, all things ForUnity TV. If you're watching us live, go ahead and hashtag live in the comments below and let us know where you're joining us from. And if you're rewatching this, hashtag rewatch. Also, we want to encourage you to interact with us in the comments below with your thoughts and questions as we go along in our show. Our amazing hosts are there with you also. They will be interacting and we'll be sharing some of your comments and answers on our live. And if you've been watching us for the very first time, from the very first time, when I mean the very first time from the beginning of ForUnity TV, you should already know what to do. ForUnity TV was birthed from our 2020 Loveathon. And if you missed our 2021 One Voice, One Heart, One World Under God Loveathon, which aired on July 24th of this year, or maybe you just want to rewatch it and experience the whole all together back to back, you can head over to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel to rewatch our amazing performers and speakers. So let's get into our discussion for tonight. Make sure you share this video to everyone on our Facebook and invite them to join us, because tonight we will be talking about cherished memories. I know. One of the greatest gifts that God has given humanity is the beautiful gift of memory. In a sense, memory, I'm so sorry. There we go. In a sense, memory allow us to relive the moment that was so special to us. We all have those special memories, that we continue to relive over and over, So let's look at the definition of memory. Memory is defined as the mental capacity of which your mind stores and remembers information. It sometimes most of the time remember things from our past. Memory is very important memory is a very important part of our life and make us who we are, regardless of what our age or what year we were born or which generation we defined with. Making memory is part of who we are and tell us of our story and where we have came from. That's a wonderful thing about memory. It transition from age to generation to race and everything else. Memory is also important to us simply because we are human, right? And it is our way to look back and appreciate where we have come from and who we have spent our time with. And to look ahead and share to the next generation, it is important because we have a heart that beat of of joy, and a sense of belonging. Things that remind us and give us things to remind them of. So, ladies, I have my first question to you guys. What is one of the most cherished memories to you? Emily?
Hi guys. For those of you who are new, I'm Emily. I am coming at you from Queens, New York. Um, so to answer your question, Alicia, first of all, I'm so happy to be here. So excited for season 2. I want to see some energy in those comments for season 2. Come on. Um, but to answer your question, Alicia, what is one of my most cherished memories? It was when I heard back from my now college that I was accepted. So for those of you who don't know, I recently started college, which is very exciting, at the Macaulay Honors College at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. And so, like, for those of you who don't know, again, being accepted into this program is very, very competitive. And out of thousands of applicants, only 20 students are accepted. And I was so nervous to hear back. Acceptance into this program includes a full scholarship, a free laptop, and so many more opportunities available to me than to most students. And I remember it was super late at night, and I was so nervous to say the least, like so scared. And I knew that the results were coming out soon, and I didn't want to go to sleep unless I got that acceptance or rejection email, just so I knew. And I had prayed in the previous month saying that, God, if this is your will, you'll make it happen. If it's not your will, you won't make it happen. And I know that your will prevail in the end. And just as I was about to go to sleep, I was like, God, I'm going to give up now. Like, I'm going to go to sleep. Like, I'll see it in the morning. Like, I guess you're telling me to go to sleep. I was just about to turn off my TV and go to sleep. I got the notification on my phone and I screamed. I screamed at the top of my lungs. And keep in mind, this is like midnight. And so I really hope nobody thought I was crazy. But my mom heard me and she thought something was wrong. And she was like, what happened? I was like, I got in. I was like jumping and crying for joy. And I think grandma heard me too, which is why she called. And I was like, oh my God, grandma, I got in. And I called my sister too. And I was like crying tears of joy, like so excited, so thankful that I gotten into this program, and which has led me here today. So that has been one of my most cherished memories. Vanny, what about you?
Well, congratulations, and we are so proud of you, as all of you young ladies out there that are making moves and doing life and doing it well. My name is Vanessa, also known as Vanny. I prefer Vanny to everyone. And we live up here in Schenectady, New York. That's upstate New York. And we I am a registered nurse, and I'm working currently as a nursing supervisor. And I am so excited to be on here today. Our second season, first episode. I was trying to get second season in there after I don't know how many episodes. I was telling Iris, I was like, no, this is season 2, episode 1, because it's been this many episodes, but we finally made it. We are so excited. One of my, or I think when I took a good look at the question, I think it's the most cherished memory that I do have to this point is when my niece was born. Being a young bride and then a young mom and having my 3 children, those are memories that I'll never forget, and they're forever in my brain. And that's where they'll stay. They hurt too much. Anyway, but growing my children, growing up with my kids, I always had a competition. It was my sister, Auntie Susie. Auntie this, Auntie that. And she was the best aunt ever. She gave them everything. She took care of them. She watched over them. The stuff that I didn't have to think about, she did. And this aunt was more of a mom in my mind, because I was like, oh, they'll run to me and I'll discipline, or I'll do this or I'll do that. But it's always Auntie who has all the the accolades. And I remember when I was there when Ivy was born, and I thought it was like I was there for, to really be there for her when she was born. But the moment she arrived, I kind of went into, my professional mode, and I said, okay, here's the baby, take the baby, you do what you got to do with the baby. I was focusing on my sister. And I remember I was so tired, and I went home that morning. When I woke up, I was like, where's the baby? I'm an aunt now. I'm an aunt. It'll be Auntie Fanny. So it's not just Auntie Susie anymore. I carry that with me every time I think of her. I think of the fact that I have to live up to how my kids look at my sister as their aunt. I pray and hope that someday Ivy will look at me and say, Auntie Fanny, that's my auntie. So that's my cherished memory. So how about you, Portia?
Well, hello, I'm Portia. I'm coming to you from Queens, New York also. So like Emily, my most cherished memory that I will never forget is being accepted into my dream school. If you've been following us for a while, you probably know that I go to FIT. I'm a senior, so it really has flew by. So I remember I was a senior in high school, obviously, and normally the way it goes is that people apply like September, October time, and then you hear back like November the latest. But FIT, of course, was different. All my friends got accepted to college. They knew what they were doing. They didn't have to care senior year. But FIT, you don't hear back till April, which was absurd and such a hard time for me, because it was like, I don't know what I'm gonna go. Like, could I be accepted? Was I denied? I would literally check the website to see if there was some way to like go and see if I was accepted before I got the letter, but there wasn't. So I did the work, everything. FIT was my dream. And I would text my mom or my sister before like I got home from school, like, is there a letter? Like, is there anything? I would try my hardest, and it was just, I would look like on FIT, see if other people got their letters. Like, I knew beginning of April was when everyone got it. So, or like ending of March. So as the time like approached and I didn't get my letter yet, I was getting very nervous. I was like, well, if I don't go FIT, I'm just not going to go to college. Like, I'll just go somewhere else and try again. But FIT was the only answer for me. And then I remember it was a Saturday. It was early in the morning, and I was in my room, and my mom like texted me to come downstairs. And like in that moment, I knew it was the letter. And it was like, she left it on the floor. She didn't pick it up. She just left it there. And I looked at it, and like my heart just like sank, because it was just a start of a new chapter. I prayed so hard for FIT. It was like the only answer. It was like a dream come true. And I was so happy, because it's just everything I've ever wanted, everything I've ever worked for was for FIT. I like did the time. I went to like open house. I went to all of it, like dragged my mother there. And I spent so much time just wanting to go to this one school, and then having my answers and my prayers like answered. It was just a phenomenal experience. And now I will be graduating in a year. So yeah. So Annie, what is your cherished memory?
Hi guys, first I just want to congratulate you ladies. I mean, you are the next generation, and you're setting the standards so high, education wise. So we're so proud of you. And hi guys, I'm Annie, and I'm coming to you guys from Queens, New York. And like our two young ladies, one of my most cherished memories have to do with academics as well. It was my first year actually in United States school when we first got here, and I remembered my first year. Um, I received the Student of the Year award, which was so amazing. And it was actually a very tough time too, because of that award, my best friend actually stopped talking to me. So that happened. But it was such an amazing time. It just showed me that I can accomplish anything that I want to. There's no limits. There's no limitations on what I can do. And it just showed me, because I was so afraid coming from Guyana and their school system and going into an entire new school system. I was afraid that I'm not smart enough. I don't know these things, right? When it comes to like the subjects and stuff like that, I felt like I would be so behind. But receiving that award just showed me that never tell yourself you cannot do something. Never tell yourself that you're not good enough, because you are good enough. So, and that just
set the standard for me throughout junior high school, and even college. So that is one of my most cherished memories. What about you, Dr. D?
Hey everybody, I'm Dilly Mishalak. I'm representing St. Louis. I'm down here, like Vanessa said, I'm up here. Vanny said we're up here. So I'm down here in St. Louis. It's so funny. I probably would have said academics and all that God has helped me come through. But after having my babies, they trumped everything that I've accomplished academically. So my memory is my children. For those of you who follow, and if you don't, you may not know, I'm a mother of triplets, and 2 boys and a girl. They're 5 years old now. But I remember my husband and I, we were apart for our training, and both of us are physicians. And when you go to train, it's this crazy system called a match, and it's super random, and it's done by a computer. And we were praying to end up at the same hospital, but both of us applied for super competitive positions. And we knew, everybody said, it'll be really hard because both of you are applying for positions that there's like 200 positions in the United States, and there's hundreds of thousands of applicants applying to them. So the chances of you getting in the same place is going to be difficult. So we went in knowing that, and we were apart. So after we were done with our training, we were like ready to get pregnant. I was like, let's do this. And of course, at that point, we had already been in training. So it seemed like it was taking forever. And it was like a couple of months, which, isn't forever. And I'll never forget when I got my positive pregnancy test at home. And the day we went to the doctor, it was a Thursday. And when he did my ultrasound, he said, "Oh, there's 2 there." And then we were like, yeah, because we were praying for twins. We even sewed a seed, and on our check we put, "We are praying for twins." I went out in faith. I bought 2 outfits for a little boy and a girl, went out in faith, and then a minute later he said, "Oh my gosh, there's another one hiding in the back." So I will never forget that day when we found that out. I started to cry because as a physician, the first thing I thought of was the baby ICU. I was like, oh my gosh, because I definitely wasn't expecting triplets. I was praying for twins, but my mom makes fun of me, and she said I pray so hard that God was like, here's an extra one because you pray so hard. But he never gives us more than we can handle, and they're like triple the blessing. But that's definitely a day I will never forget when I found out I was having triplets. What about you, Iris?
Hi, everybody. My name is Iris. I'm from upstate New York, Schenectady.
Not original.
Not originally. But one of my most cherished memories, I love family. For me, family is a number one wherever I'm at. So I think it was probably like the first moment I actually had like consciousness in my life. Used to sleep with my grandmother in our bed, and I cherished those nights where she would pat my back so that I would fall asleep. And now,
Dodo, baby, dodo.
we in our culture we call it dodoing. But when it first started to happen, and I realized, I was like, "Grandma, get off me! Like, don't do that." But after a while, like the peace that she had, and she knew what I needed, it ended up something that at the end of the day, I'd be like, "Grandma, dodo me, please." And it comforted me to a point where I was like, I love this. I love my grandma. I've cultivated that relationship with her. And then it soon grew into patting me while I fell asleep to waking me up with singing of old hymns and stuff like that. And it blossomed. It definitely blossomed a spirit of worship in me. And I cherish that moment very greatly. How about you, Sam?
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Sam. If you don't know, I'm coming to you guys from Stony Brook, where I am currently also a senior majoring in civil engineering. So yeah, this is my last year. So one of my most cherished memories, I kind of go back to simpler times. Like Iris said, like one of your first memories you can remember. I always try to go back to those because everyday lives are so busy. Like I'm always doing things that I tend to forget the simple things, or a time when my biggest worry was like, what am I gonna watch on TV? Like I don't know, like stuff like that. So like one of my first things I remember is so Emily and I are 3 years apart. And I remember in our living room, mom would spread out these huge blankets on the floor over the rug. And Emily had just started to crawl. Like she didn't know to walk yet or anything. So she would put us on that blanket to like play or whatever else she did, her like whatever she was doing. And Emily would be on one side of the blanket and I'd be on the other side of the blanket, and she would crawl towards me. And before she gets to me, I would run to the other side. And we would just keep going around in like this circle on this one square blanket of the living room. And we would just go around over and over and over again. And it was like fun for both of us. Like nobody got upset. Like, so I don't know. I always just go back to those times. You weren't upset then. You didn't know enough to be upset
I
at
just
that
want
point.
to say from there on, that was where the bullying
I
started.
don't bully
Because
her.
I was getting so close and then she would leave me. And that's why she never wants to give me hugs. So anyways.
Anyway, so that's just the time I go back to, like when things were just simpler, nicer. You're with family, you're enjoying life, nothing to worry about. What about you, Kenzie?
Hi, my name is Kenise. I'm coming to you guys from, I hate when you guys are like, I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you from Long Island. I really don't. It's so hard. I love this topic, but it's been so hard for me to select a cherished memory. I think, I was watching a show the other night and I was looking at the woman had dementia, and, she just forgot just really forgot everything. And then just makes you really realize how important memories are, because I think our whole life is made up of memories. I think of, not to be morbid, but on our deathbed, it's all the memories, it's like my life flashed before my eyes, those are all memories, right, that flash by. And I have so many, I really don't know which one to pick. So I don't know. I really don't know. I think a lot of my most cherished, I guess, memories is like Iris with my grandmother. I'm going to cry. My grandmother was like amazing. And I'm blessed to have had her in my life. I would not be the woman of God who I am today without my grandmother. And I remember when we left Guyana, she always like lived with us. When we left Guyana, I hated leaving her. And we would call her, Deline and I would call her all the time. We're like, Grandma, can you please come over to America, please? Because she's like, I don't want to go there. I have a perfect life over here. And she like gave up her home and everything to move to America to be with Deline and myself. And just being like an amazing grandmother, like Iris said, who sang all the time. I could still hear her voice. Her ashes are right behind me, by the way. So if you guys want to see it, I'm just letting her ashes, she wanted her ashes to go back to Guyana. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking your ashes back. It's staying right here with me for the rest of my life. So I just want to say that my most cherished memories that made me, I guess, help form me is my grandmother. What about you, Alicia?
Well, you guys, that's so awesome. And like Kenise mentioned, there's so much good memories. And this episode is very special to me as well. Like I'm about to cry myself. But for me, cherished memories are like with family. Like cherish them as much memories you can with them right here. You don't want to be reminiscing on memories when they pass on. So I have a lot. I don't know like where to like pick and which not to, because they're like so much. But I would have to say my most cherished memories and I'll be forever thankful for is my mom. She gave up so much for my sister and I, and those memories of her doing those stuff, stay with us and make us the woman that we are today. Strengthen us, encouraging us, like that woman figure that in our in us growing up, because we didn't have like that male figure growing up. So my mom was like always there. And also like my grandmother, Sister Savitry, I know she would always encourage us.
The nursing, man, sister
Yeah.
nursing. Yes, yes.
She would always encourage us to go to church. And we would go, like you guys probably heard Annie said before, like church was just like a like a Easter Sunday or Christmas morning kind of thing. And
Not even Christmas morning. It was like Easter or like
yeah,
once a year.
and um and my church memories, like with her too, as well as like encouraging us to follow Christ. And it took her passing for us to realize what she was trying to instill in us. So those memories of like even when we were little in Guyana, and she would go to Guyana, and we never like seen her because she was always here, and when the first time she visited, like I was like, oh, you're like we love her so much. And those are like my cherished memories, like my mom and my grandma, like. And now my mom here with us, I want to cherish as much memory I want to with her. Like I would tell my sister, like I could have moved out a long time ago, I could have go bye-bye, but I don't want to. I want to stick around my mom. I want to be around my mom. I want to have like these little memories here and there. Like I don't want to miss out nothing with her. I want to cherish every little, even though we argue here and there, but I want to cherish all those things.
I think your mom wants you to leave. I'm just letting you know.
She told me
she told me that today in church.
I think she started cooking for me too. So she's probably like, go on your way. But no, she I don't think she would even bear me going away. She would cry and beg me to come back. I was away for 2 weeks, and she's like, when are you coming back home? When are you coming back home?
She forgot the daughter that was with her for that 2 weeks and just.
Yes, I know how you feel, Annie. I know the daughters that always go away get all of the attention. Yeah, look.
Oh, wow. This is like taking a turn here. We really need some like sister intervention. That's going to be one of our shows this season.
We're saying memories can be great and awesome, right? Yeah. Not all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ladies, memories, they last a lifetime. They stay with us forever and ever. I love that you ladies share your happy memories with us. But in reality, they are not so happy memories. Some memories are bad, some memories, There are memories that's hurtful. There's memory that pain. There's memories that gives you disappointment. There's memories that give you even broken memories. Memories of people leaving, memories of people disappointing us. And sometimes memories just give us disappointment of ourselves, But regardless, if there's one thing for certain, that memories, no matter how good or bad, they make us who we are today. And right here. Memories can bring us joy and happiness. It can also bring us along from growing and learning to become a better person. The past can change, but it's important that we cherish our memories. I am grateful for all my memories, because developing me as a person has helped me, influence me to become the person who I am today.
Alicia, I just want to add to that the when we stand before God, my dad usually would say that it's going to be like this huge cloud, like a big screen TV, and God is going to show us all the things that we have done.
Yes.
And I feel like I can picture that in my mind. So if you can picture that for a second. So it's all of these, I guess, memories, things that we have gone through and experienced that God is going to bring to mind. And especially those that we talk to about God, that don't accept God, and they're like, well, I didn't know about Jesus. None of my family told me about God. Nobody, the pastor never preached this. And I think God is going to go to those specific memories of like those things in our lives. And I think just God himself created memories. You know, he created these things because when he was on the earth, I think he was making memories with his mom and his dad and his brothers, you know, his siblings and what he was doing. So I think this whole memories is just amazing because the disciples remembered everything.
Yeah.
You know, they lived off of what they experienced and everything that they remembered that Jesus took them through. So whether it be positive or negative, I agree with you. It does make us and shape us.
I totally agree. And like in the Bible itself, you know, that is like the memory of what he instilled in his disciples, you know, so it teaches on, it make us a better person by what he instilled, what memories he instilled in them. Sometimes I even like wonder like how to even remember all these things, all these details, like, you know, to have it in the Bible. But you know, God give us that knowledge, that capability, that capacity to impact all that information.
And I just want to add, I'm sorry, really quick. I just want to add that, you know, when John was on the island of Patmos in the book of Revelation, he told John, write these things down. Write them down. And you all know, if many of you guys know, I'm a huge writer. Like I love to write my journal and write these memories. And, you know, even Deline, like even when she like calls me or sends me pictures of like the babies started their first day of school, and like in my journal, it has like, what am I grateful for? I do write down what happened in that day to like say, oh, I'm so grateful. And of keeping this memory that the triplets started first kindergarten today. And it was so exciting. Or what they told me, you know, that their first day at kindergarten, you know, so I do write that stuff down. So it's important to really capture the memories with pictures or, you know, taking videos. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. We have, you know, hopefully you have an iPhone. I think we're all iPhone today, right? No, we're not all iPhone. Oh, all right. Let's get rid of the pointers.
So to piggyback on my colleague, I would like to say in the Hebrew culture, that culture that this biblical reference has come from, this is a pattern. They have taught their generation after generation because they have written on the scroll. And when they came together on that weekly gathering, they would read from that scroll. So generation after generation, even it was recorded in the New Testament. When Jesus went into the synagogue, they gave him the scroll. They showed him what to read. It's so funny. I was reading and I was like, oh, they really put themselves in a box because they gave it to him and he says, no eyes have seen, no ear has heard. And they were like, oh, did he just say that? No, you gave it to him to read. But that's the pattern. It's always reminding ourselves. Nehemiah was never born in Jerusalem. He was born generations in captivity, but yet he was so connected to the people of God because he heard it, because it was written and it was repeated. It was a memory that was given and imparted from generation to generation. That's why it's so important that we pattern that in our lives. When I go through those tough times, I should remember them. I shouldn't try to forget it because it reminds me not to do the things I did then and do things better. So even when we think it's bad, when we think it's so painful that, you know what, if I could be erased right now, let that be erased. No, it's there for a reason. It is there for a purpose.
And I just want to piggyback on what you just
said. Oh my gosh, nobody can get a word in over here.
Go ahead. Okay.
This
is our first episode of the season.
I think what Kitty seems like her own, like, what's it called? Like a spinoff. That, like, you know, the episode will continue. And if you're interested, you can just like tune on after the episode.
I'll do the after show.
With the memories, it's even more important, not only like documenting them, whether it's writing, photos, video, but also just sharing them. Like, I love this episode because
that's exactly what I was going to say. And you just read
it. Okay.
And you
well,
took
maybe
mine.
people want to hear a different voice. Like, no, it's just sharing them because one, I think sometimes we forget, like, Sam said, sometimes we just forget. Like, you don't think about those memories. Like, she talked about those simple memories because you get caught up in your busy routine, but to share them, because one, your memory or your experience can be a testimony to somebody else, but then it's also how we pass on, our love, our routines, our culture, to family and friends. So I think that's even more so important than not only having those memories, but making sure that you cherish them and share those memories to keep those memories going. Or else, that's how people's legacy die. And that's how people keep legacies, is because you continue to share and share and share. Like, nobody would know who President Lincoln is and what he did if those memories aren't shared. Like, essentially, social studies and history class is memories of things that have happened in the world. And that's what the Bible is. If, everyone who wrote the Bible and God didn't give them what to write, if they were like, God, I ain't listening to this man, I'm not writing this, what's this guy talking about? But if they didn't follow what God told them, we wouldn't have the word of God if they didn't listen. And the same way, it's so important. Our memories, what we go through, to pass that along, because God uses every memory and every experience we go through to help somebody else. Sorry, my kids are doing homework over here. Well, not homework. It's like our work, their workbook. We make them work on the side.
I don't think we need to wait, but she took my point that we just want to share those memories with our children or our children's children. It's a fun thing. And I think those of us from an island or from South America, when I talk to Avia about a memory, like, oh, back in Guyana, she's like, I always see Guyana in black and white, because she means like it's old, like Guyana is not black and white. Guyana has color. I don't know what's wrong. That's my child. But it's like, when you tell her, like, I didn't have like a television with like Netflix, and, Auntie Delina and I used to watch VHS cassette tapes. She's like, what's the VHS? Or when we watch like a movie, like The Wizard of Oz, Delina, we watched The Sound of Music the other night. I was like, Auntie Delina and I used to watch this in Guyana. And she was like, in black and white. I was like,
And you know what? It's so amazing that a memory is it's a gift from God when you think about it, because like just now thinking about it, it's connected to all of our senses, because I can smell something and it just brings back memory of my childhood, or I can hear something and it just brings back a memory. You touch something,
A taste.
you see something, you taste something. It's so amazing that God connected all of our senses to memory. So it's so important. I know that we all have good memories, we have bad memories, and we tend to push the bad memories aside and focus on the good ones. But it's memories are what make us who we are today, and what we've gone through and what we've been through. It's God's way of molding us. So hold on to every single memory, no matter how good or how bad, because it's I look at it as being it happened for a reason, and God had a reason why he's doing what he's doing, or he did what he did, because he doesn't make mistakes. God does not make mistakes. So hold on to every single memory, because it's what we look back on. It's the only thing we have to look back on.
Memories are amazing, and you ladies, totally agree with that. Memories are, it's amazing, and that's how we interact with our past. So ladies, I have asked you all to bring something from your past that hold a sentimental memories to share with the viewers and share with us here today the meaning behind it. So I'll go first. So for me, like, I said earlier, families, I like to cherish every little thing. Like, if someone gives something to me, I like to cherish it. I keep it. I hold on to it. And
She's a hoarder. Of
yeah,
some
they
sort.
call me a hoarder, but I'm not like that type of hoarder, you know. I like to hold on to something that have values and have a meaning behind it. So what I brought with me today is a picture album. I have albums pictures in my phone, but you know, but I have a picture album, and in this a photo album, and in my photo album I have like baby pictures of myself.
Of course, it has to be of yourself. So we all know where this is
It's
going.
my album. It's my memory. Hello, it's my cherish.
By the way, growing up, they took more pictures with her than with me. I don't even know what I look like as a baby.
Always, always. Let me tell you, let me just make the record straight. I know this is about cherished memories, but the parents only remember the memories of the first child. Everybody else, it's just like, you know, all the other, the second, the third, and the fourth. Yeah, sorry. Good luck. Have a nice day.
Yep, it's always. So yeah, so that's my memories. Like I love to cherish pictures, videos. I get extra storage to store it because you know you can look back into them and remember a certain time, a certain day. You know, like things happening like on the iPhone. Those have iPhone. You know, sometimes a certain day it brings us back from like 3, 4, 6 years ago. You know, memories and. I
You wouldn't know, Iris.
And so, you know, and then I was looking back at certain memories. I'm like, wait, I didn't know I had these pictures. Oh, look at this. Like one popped up today with Avi. And like Avi was such a little, like a baby. I'm like, oh my God, like look how tiny she was. And, you know, and now she's this beautiful young lady. And yeah, so pictures, videos, whatever, those are sentimental to me. How about you, Vanny?
This is my cherished memory object.
What is that?
It is Italian. It's China, but it,
From Guyana, though.
Is
no.
it from Wuhan? Just make it Wuhan. Okay, I was thinking.
It is Italian spode, blue Italian spode China. I came in this country when I was 7 years old, and at the end of the day, today I'm almost 50, and life was not an easy thing, nor was it a difficult thing. Life was life. And growing up, I grew up on television. I grew up on the big screen, watching classic movies, black and whites. I love my black and whites. Anyway, a part of that was that every rich family had their china, which was Italian spode. Either it was the pink or it was the blue. And I remember so distinctly when I bought the house in the Bronx in 2012, my mom and we went to Macy's, and I went straight downstairs to where they have all the nice stuff. And I told my mom, I said, I am a nurse. I have been a nurse for several years now, and I can afford this. These china, you don't buy them in sets. You buy them a piece at a time. And so I went and I told my mom, I said, okay, we need this many plates, we need this many cups, we need this many this, da, da, da. She's like, I don't see anything in the box. I don't see, like, you know, it's whatever. I said, no, you literally have to say, I want 4 of these or 6 of these or whatever, and so forth and so on. Then she flipped it over. She's like, you want what? How many of what? I was like, yes. I can do this. I can do this now. I can breathe and do this now. And I remember the first time I told them, I said, when we eat from this, no one needs to wash the dishes. I'll wash the dishes. Well, did they listen to me? No. So one day I came home and I was drying my dishes, putting them away. And one of my plates, my entree plates, had a little crack. Usually anything has a crack, it goes in the garbage. Did I throw that one away? Nah, this is my cherished memory. Tea tastes better in this. Coffee tastes better in this. Juice tastes better in this. You know why? Because it was a dream come true. And it wasn't for the fact that, you know, that, okay, you had money now that you can buy it, but because what I saw on the screen that took me away from some very tumultuous times in my youth when I was going through some stuff, I would get lost in those movies and become a character or whatever. It saved my life at points. And for me to hold it in my hand and take a sip from it was like, you've got it. You've got it. So I brought this with me. It doesn't go anywhere without me. So when I do leave everyone, it leaves with me. You can bury. No, actually, you have to cremate me with it. I don't leave it for anyone. My precious memories. All righty then. Let's see. Who do we go to next? Iris,
Me.
you're lucky. You're blessed.
When it comes to, okay, so when we were asked this, my head just completely went blank, and I'm like, do I have anything that's like sentimental to me? So I started thinking about stuff, and not until literally maybe like 20 minutes ago, I actually found something that was really sentimental to me, and that was actually the very first bass guitar that I bought. It's here. I did bring it. It's in here. I had it restrung maybe like a couple months ago, but the reason why it's so sentimental to me, and the reason why I still have it and play it as well, is because the moment that I chose to pursue instrument and pursue worship, and my uncle actually was like, hey, do you want to pick up the bass? And I was like, okay, whatever. I took the time out and I researched everything about these bass. I researched how many strings I'm supposed to start with, end with, what type, what size, and I walked into Guitar Center, my brother and my mom following behind me, like, look at all these instruments, what's happening here? And I went up to one of the guys and I told them the make, the model, the size, the thing, and they were like, they were so surprised with like what I knew based off of being a beginner, and it made me proud to say, okay, I'm invested in this, I want to do this, and it flourished such an intense worship in me as well. Not only just playing an instrument, but singing, dancing. It opened up a channel where I can express myself and give unto God in a different way, other than just, praying or just sitting in church or standing in church. And so this is very precious to me, very sentimental. I think hopefully one of my kids take up the mantle, because
You're not going to take it with you
what do you mean?
wherever you go.
Wherever I go, this house I live in, this house, it stays right here.
Portia.
How about you, Portia?
So my cherished memory or sentimental thing are my journals. So just like Kenzie, I have like 5 of them, and I'm going to show you all of them. I love to write things down. I love journaling. Every time they make us talk about ourselves, I always talk about journaling. I'm a big advocate for it. I think it's just great if you have things on your mind or you just want to talk things down, just write it down, because the thing is, no one's going to see it. So I used to be really embarrassed about writing things out, because I was like, someone's going to see it. No one's going to see these. These are just for me. When I'm gone, I want these buried with me, just for my eyes only.
Me too, girlfriend. Me too.
Yeah, these are just for me. They are just, I love to scrapbook. I have a personal scrapbook. I did it for senior year. It's great. I just take pictures. I love taking pictures. I print them out. I put them in my scrapbook. I write a little thing, especially this summer. I love it. Just writing down how I feel. All of it is just getting it out of your head and onto paper. It gives the most amazing feeling ever. I love my journals. They're amazing. So start journaling. My journals are my most sentimental thing ever. So Dr. D, what is your object?
Hey, so my object is my little Stucky.
Oh my gosh.
That's right. My sister knows who this is. So this is Blackie. Blackie's my little gorilla who I had since I was little. We were living in North Carolina, and this little gorilla means so much to me, because not only I'm gonna cry now because it's just fun time, like Sam talked about, just memories. So North Carolina, our dad's a pastor, and our dad would drive to New York, usually from Thursday, to be in church and to build the church that they have now in Queens, Global Christian Ministries. And my mom at that time, she's a fantastic interior designer. She just got that knack for like all that stuff. And she owned a store called Silk Plants, etc. And I'll never forget, a palm tree came in, and this little guy was with the palm tree. He came in. I asked him, I'm like, oh, can I have him? He's so cute. So I got him there, but it just represents the time Kenise and I would always hang out together there. Remember Kenise? And there was a Toys R Us next door. We just always like go over and hang out, like just be over there and window shop because we were small. And we just hang out with mom all the time. And I'll never forget, one day customers came in late and mom was closing the store. And when they came in, mom was like, oh, these kids, they're messing with the lights. And mommy blamed it on us. But this little stuffy just reminds me of that time and just the closest of my family. And then now my babies have stuffies. So if I see him getting thrown around the room, I'm like, you better watch out. Don't be throwing Blackie. You better take care of him. So he is somebody who I hope my kids will pass on to my grandkids and then to my great grandkids, because I love him so much and he just represents the love in our family. What about you, Sam?
All right, Delene, I think we're gonna have to have a play date soon because I brought my stuffed animal too. Okay, obviously it's basic name Doggy. That's his name since I was 1 year old, and I still have him with me. I don't know. He was just always with me whenever we went on vacations. When I was younger, I would take him with me. I remember I would go upstairs to the tenant to like hang out with her sometimes, and I would take him up there with me. And I think one time I left him up there and I didn't know, and I tumbled the entire house looking for this stuff, like looking for him. And I was so upset. I was like, I don't know what I did with him. Like a week later, a tenant came back down and she's like, oh, I think you left us upstairs. And I was like, you've had this all along, and didn't say anything. Like, do you know how long I've been looking for him? There are so many younger memories that I have with this stuffed animal, and he's back here with college with me as well. I think it just kind of represents like I mentioned before, the simpler times. Was always there with me, like stability. Like it's just a constant thing in my life. It may just be a stuffed animal, but it's something that like it's still in very good condition. I'm very happy with the way he looks. I know one time I tried to give him a bath, even though mom told me not to. And it's a stuffed animal, so it's soaked in so much water, and I couldn't say anything, so I hid him in Emily's crib when she wasn't like sleeping, and I put him there until he tried. But yeah, so like a lot of small memories come with him, but yeah, he's been with me since 3 years for college. We're in our 4th year now, and God knows where else we're gonna go. What about you, Kenzie?
Okay, because we have time restraints that Emily told me we're under, I don't get to cry. So these are from Avia's dedication. And I dried them. So we get 3 flowers during our dedication. So the mother gets a flower, the father gets a flower, and the baby gets a rosebud. And actually, so I dried them as a memory. So they're here. They're like dry, just to remember that day that I remember we all went. I know Vanny them were there. Delene was there. I don't know if Alicia them were there. I don't remember who else was there. Yeah, you guys were there. I know Emily are there because I have pictures of you guys there. So I don't think anybody else was there. But this was when she was just about 2 months old that we did this. It was a great memory, and I kept the flower. So it's here. Doesn't smell like anything, but anyway. What about you, Emily?
Alrighty. So my object is a shirt. So I don't know if you guys can see this. It's very small, but this shirt is from my kindergarten graduation. So you guys can see it says 2009. So I've had this shirt for 12 years. 12 years. I don't even believe I've had this shirt for 12 years. But on the back, as you can see it's kind of small, but it says the name of the school, which is Our Lady of Perpetual Help, class of 2029. The teachers' names are on there. And my name is somewhere on here. I can't really see it if it's on the camera, but my name is on this shirt as a part of the graduating class of 2009 for kindergarten. And very crazy that I used to fit in this, but it makes me wish that I was still in kindergarten because it was so much easier back then. What about you, Annie?
All right, so like Iris, I couldn't decide on what to bring, and then I
There's
remember
too much.
there's so many things, but then I remember it was around the time my grandma had passed away, and it was a really hard time, like for the entire family, and for us as well as grandkids. And I remember my mom got my sister and I these, hold on, wait, I want, ugh, these beautiful little pendants, and on the back of them, it says, I will always
Be with you.
be at your side. And it is like my most cherished thing, because just thinking about one day my mom not being here is so difficult for me. So just having this, and I probably only wore it about maybe 2 or 3 times because I'm like, I don't want to lose it. It's just to remember that
No matter what.
no matter what, she's gonna always
Always be
be
there.
with my sister and I in our hearts. So yeah, that is my most cherished memories.
I love it. I love it. So it brings tears to my eyes. You know, memories, there's so much fun memories. We cannot pick and choose, you know. As going by, I'm like thinking, oh wait, I know that one. I cherish that one more. Oh no, but you know, let's go. I love it. Thank you, ladies. That's a great thing about memories. It can be so beautiful, and it can, you know, we can reflect on it, the good times, but we can reflect on the good times, but they could also be painful. But despite of all this, they help us and develop us and help us grow as a person. When we were born, we have no memories, and if you ever try to erase our memory as a child or an adult, you could only reveal back to the time when we were born, and no one wants that at all. No one wants to have their memories taken away from them, wiped, like the Man in Black, where they, you know, black your memories. You don't remember anything. Nobody want that at all. Memories in the sense define who we become over and over. You know, I mentioned that memories define the person who we have become from the time we were in our mother womb, from the time we have been developed. They said that babies can recognize the voice of their mom, or you know, the person that's around them, the sound of a newborn. They can hear when their mother they can hear their mother voice when they're in their tummy. There's a reason why God gifted us with the ability to remember it and recall certain periods of time in our life. Holding on to cherished memories in our life and reminds us of the purpose in the present. It teaches us not to regret anything, but instead reflect on every memories, every lesson we learned in the past. And at the same time, it reminds us how far we have become in our life, and how important, most importantly, our walk with God. So cherish every memory, and also cherish, you know, memories that God give us that ability from the time we were in our mother womb to remember and recognize our mother voice from the time, you know, when we come out, we know that, hey, this is my mommy, you know, that's the person you want to go to. So I want to thank you guys so much for sharing your thoughts with us, and thank you our viewers for being with us in our first episode of our second season, and looking forward to seeing you guys here again, because we have so much in store for you guys. You don't want to miss this season. It's the bomb, you know. Sam, would you close us out in prayer?
All right. So let's close our eyes and bow our heads. So, Heavenly Father, we come before you today. And we just thank you for bringing each and every one of us here tonight, oh Father, so we can come together and just talk not only more about you, oh Father, but how we incorporate you more in our lives, even when it comes to memories, oh God. Like Alicia said, you have given us the ability to remember, oh Father, for a reason, and that our memories can be used as a testimony to glorify your name, oh God. I pray, oh God, that you continue to strengthen each and every one of us, those that are watching us live and those that are watching us on replay, that we will take the time to remember all the things that you have brought us through, oh Father, all the doors you have opened for us, all the opportunities, oh God, that you have provided, oh God, that we will take the time to just to cherish those memories. And we know that you have greater and better things in store for us, and we can't wait for the future memories to be made, oh Father. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
And